start today kneeling. You can let your sit bones rest on your heels if that feels okay. Knees can be together or they can be wide, whatever feels best in your body. Let the hands rest palm face down on the thighs. Let the eyes close. And take a few moments just to bring awareness to the breath and to make a commitment to the breath. So our goal throughout the class is not necessarily to even be breathing in the exact way that I'm saying as I cue potential inhale as we do this, exhale as we do that. Those are always suggestions, but our goal is to remain breathing through the nose the entire time, unless we need a nice long exhale through the mouth. But the vast majority of the time, breathing in and out of the nose. And if it feels okay in your body, we can use Ujjayi breath. So that's like constriction at the back of the throat that allows for an audible inhale, audible exhale. On the inhale, it's almost like a vacuum suction down into the lungs. We exhale so fully, pressing in the navel that the inhale just kind of naturally sucks downward. On your next inhale, we'll sweep the arms out to the sides and up. Fingertips can come together overhead, and then we'll exhale, twisting to the right. Left hand comes outside of the right knee, right fingertips to the mat behind you, or hand can come to the low back. We want to draw the shoulders toward one another, really broaden through the front side of the body. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, wring out the torso just a bit more. Really feel on the exhale, the lungs hug in toward the heart space even. And then inhale, very gently release back up through center, reach tall, establishing that length of the spine. And exhale to the left. Right hand comes outside of left knee, left fingertips behind you. Again, every inhale is a chance to lengthen. Every exhale is a chance to deepen the twist. And that depth really comes near the bottom of the exhale. On an inhale, gently come back up through center. Exhale, we're going to reach the hands forward and lift the hips up. So we're in full kneeling position. Curl the toes underneath. And then from here, we're going to activate the core by, first of all, tucking the tail down. Feel the navel draw in, low ribs hug in toward hip points. So we're almost rounding a little bit through the back. And then we're just going to lean back and then forward. And we only want to lean back as much as feels like we can maintain the integrity of the shape. So if we feel ourselves start to sag anywhere or strain anywhere, then come out of it. I'm realizing that I did this yesterday and that's why my quads were so sore today. So here we are again. Let's do a couple more, warming up the core, warming up the quads, it turns out. Lean back once more. We're going to hold here for a full inhale. Exhale, draw the shoulders more toward each other. Lean back a little bit more. And then come all the way up. As the hips lower, the toes stay curled under. We're going to work on that symmetrical lifting. Try to lift both knees at once and then tuck them back under. Tuck not them, tuck the heels back under the body. Kind of a rocking motion. From here, we'll inhale the arms up. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms face up, reach tall. Bring the hands forward, palms facing forward. And we'll try to symmetrically lower the knees. And then from here, we can come all the way up to kneeling, untuck the toes, reach the palms back up toward the ceiling. Exhale to the right, hips press away to the left. Broaden through the collarbones. Shoulders draw toward each other on the back. Inhale up through center. Exhale, let's go to the left. Hips press away to the right. Again, really focus on the shoulders here. Inhale up through center. On the exhale, we're gonna bring the hands down, tabletop position. Let's do a couple rounds of cat-cow, allowing the spine to arch and round in time with the breath. Keep the breath coming through the nose. Match your movements to your breath. One more full cycle. Come back into neutral. Take a moment here to root down through the fingers and then circle the shoulders over the wrists. And then go the other direction. And then we'll come back into center. From here, slide the hands forward a handprint. We're gonna curl the toes under, hover the knees for just a moment, feeling this really active tabletop position, and then straighten out into a plank. We're gonna take a couple breaths here, really feeling the strength of this shape. Think of reaching out of the heels, out of the crown of the head. Think of the navel drawing in, pressing the mat away, but not to the full extent. We don't want to create all that space in the shoulder joint. We just want a little bit of buoyancy there. And then lower the knees, lower the elbows, hips come back. Look toward the hands. Keep the knees where they are, keep the hands where they are. As you pull the heart through, tops of the feet come down, elbows begin to lift, pelvis plants, cobra pose. Now keep in mind, cobra pose means the elbows are bent, and it means the hips, the pelvis is on the mat. So we can't lift beyond that. Keep drawing the heart through, pressing down and pulling back with the hands at the same time. Same broadening through the front side of the body. Exhale, gently release. Inhale, press up and back, tabletop, grab your blocks. We're gonna enter into a fairly active version of a puppy pose. The height of the blocks will depend on what feels best in your body. Maybe start on medium. And we're gonna bring the elbows to the blocks, wherever they need to be so that the knees are beneath the hips. All right, now from here, elbows on the blocks, bend the elbows, bring palms together. And then let the head come down kind of between the blocks, between the elbows. On an exhale, we're gonna press the elbows in, lift the navel up, feel that activation, and then inhale, just completely relax. You may even notice that you're already deeper than you were when we got into this. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. You might get to a point where you wonder, okay, should I move my block height up if your forehead's really on the mat? And yes, do make that adjustment if that seems like it would be helpful. If you go to the highest setting, for me, I like to have my elbows just off the edge, so it's more my triceps on it. Again, exhale as we press into the blocks, we feel the core, we feel the shoulders. Inhale, we completely relax. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. Let's do 3 more. Move with your own breath. Then after your last one, allow yourself to hang out here. Maybe you let the hands soften toward the nape of the neck. Really let the head hang heavy.
Maybe the forehead even touches the mat. Take a couple breaths here. And then on an exhale, again, press into the elbows, lift the torso up, and gently work your way out. You can set the blocks aside. All right, so from here, come back to kneeling, how we started, reach the arms up. Exhale, grab opposite elbows. We're just gonna lean to the right. Inhale through center, lean to the left. Inhale through center, cactus the arms out, little baby back bend here. Now I want us to focus on a couple key things. The front ribs want to flare out, so focus on low ribs knitting in toward the hip points, and the lifting of the heart really comes from the heart. The sternum is raising upward, but there's so much integrity below it. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. Rock forward, hands and knees. Move the hands forward a little bit more. Wrists are a little past the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more, inhale. On the exhale, we're gonna press all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Our first down dog of the day, I want us to be really intentional. So looking at the feet, bend deeply into the knees, and then press the torso back. So we're getting some of that same opening we just did in puppy pose. And then keep the sit bones reaching up toward the ceiling, and then lower the heels any amount. So notice how that feels different than maybe the first down dog that you entered into. Not necessarily the default for all of us. 2 more breaths. On an inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. Bend the knee, open the hip. Exhale, bring the knee back toward the right knee. Rock forward to a plank, lower left knee toward the mat. Inhale, 3-legged dog, left leg reaches back. Exhale, step the left foot forward, but to the outer edge of the left hand. Lower the right knee, inhale, chest chin up. Exhale, right foot toward the outer right hand. Inhale, halfway, arms forward, active squat. Exhale here. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Plug the shoulders in on the back. Plug the ribs in on the front side of the body and lift from the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, hands forward, active squat. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Fingers on the mat, hands on the mat. Step the right foot back. Lower that knee, inhale. Exhale, left foot steps back, plank pose. Hold here for a cycle of breath. Lower the knees, lower the elbows. On an inhale, draw the heart through. Find that cobra pose again, keeping the elbows bent, keeping the pubic bone grounded. Exhale, soften toward the mat. And then find your way up and back, downward facing dog. Find your breath. On your inhale, the right leg lifts, knee bends and opens. Exhale, draw that knee in, rock forward to a plank. Lower that knee toward the mat. Inhale, extend, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right foot to the outer edge of the right hand. Lower the left knee, inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, active squat. Take a moment here. On an inhale, we're gonna rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center.
Bring the hands out to the sides. Touch the tips of the thumbs to the points of the shoulders. From here, again, engage through the front side of the body. Draw shoulders together, lift through the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale here, and on your exhale, find that active squat. Again, take a breath in. And then exhale, lower down. This time the left foot steps back, lower that knee, inhale. Exhale, plank. Lower the knees, lower the elbows. On your inhale, pull through. Find that cobra. Exhale, lower down. And we're going to get really active with our cobra here. So, hands are beneath the shoulders. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Press the pelvis into the mat. On an inhale, lift the torso, only using the muscles of the back, not using the hands. Keep the head neutral. Keep the shoulders drawing away from the ears and toward each other on the back side of the body. Add a slight press into the hands, but then pull back with the hands with just as much force as you press down. Let's do it one more time. Press into the hands and pull back. You should feel that your pubic bone is actually resisting on the mat. You're pulling that hard. Press into the hands, pull back. Feel how the bend is going further up the backside of the body. Press into the hands, pull back. So as we get higher off the mat, we're including the muscles all along the spine. Press into the hands, pull back. All right, so we're at our top point now. Elbows are still hugged in, they're still bent. You should feel muscles along the spine, all the way up to the shoulders. Engage. From here, exhale and soften back to the mat. Take a moment, wiggle out the hips, and then press up and back, downward facing dog. Step the feet as wide as the mat. Try to keep the legs straight, but pivot on the toes as you kind of wiggle out the hips. Getting into the IT bands a bit. We can add in some movement of the shoulders. Getting a little more into the side body. And then we'll come back to this neutral stance. Feet are still wide. From here, step the right foot toward the center. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. On your next exhale, draw that knee in toward the chest. Inhale, bring the knee back in line with the right knee. Rock forward to a plank. Asymmetrical back bend here. Really press the mat away, use your core, and then lift the left leg as you reach the head slightly back. And then press all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Step that foot forward to the outer edge of the left hand. Lower the right knee, inhale. On the exhale, the fingers stay planted inside of this left foot. We're gonna straighten both legs any amount. All right, that might mean there's still a bend in the left leg. It might mean the left leg straightens. It doesn't really matter. We're just working on getting into the back side of that left leg and through an extended pyramid stance. One more breath here. Inhale, soften into the left leg. Step the right foot forward. Find your active squat. Bring your hands to heart center. Come up onto the tippy toes, onto the balls of the feet. Challenge your balance here. Keep pressing palm to palm, broaden through the front side of the body. Lower the heels. Pivot, fingers over the left toes, facing the same direction. We're gonna find that warrior three from here. So the right leg swings back, outer hip pulls down. We reach out of the heel, reach the heart forward, Lower the right foot back. Find your active squat, hands forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna take the hands to the hips for this back bend. Feet are still wide. Draw shoulders back and toward each other. Activate through the pelvic girdle, through the core. Press the hips forward as we lift the heart. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach the arms up. On an exhale, we're gonna hinge forward. Hands come to the mat, right foot steps back. Lower the right knee. Plant the right hand beneath the nose. On an inhale, we're gonna sweep the left arm up and back, so we're opening to our left, making a nice open twist here. Exhale, soften those hips a little bit more toward the mat. Back foot can be tucked under, or it can be, toes can be tucked, or the top of the foot can be on the mat. Inhale, come back up through center. Replant the hands, curl the right toes under, step back, plank pose. All right, option to move through any sort of vinyasa. That can be knees, elbows, and then pulling through. That can be our traditional vinyasa, finding chaturanga, inhaling up, and then finding down dog. Take a breath once you're in down dog. Recommit to your breath. And then on an inhale, the right leg will lift. Bend the knee, open the hip. Exhale, draw the knee in toward the nose. And then bring it back in line with the left knee. Rock forward to this asymmetrical plank. And then lift the right knee as you reach the head up. And then send everything up and back. Down dog. Exhale, right foot steps to the outer right hand. Lower the left knee. Inhale, chest chin up. Exhale, come up onto the fingertips. Straighten both legs any amount. You can always lift the toes of the right foot. Sometimes that feels nicer here. Keep thinking of drawing the right hip back into the right femur, back into the head. God. Head of the femur back into the socket. Goodness. Inhale, soften into this right knee. Look forward, step the left foot forward. Active squat. Draw hands to heart center, pivot over. Fingers facing right toes. And sweep that left leg up and back. Warrior three. Outer hip anchors down. Palm presses into palm, broadening through the front side of the body. That'll make this balance easier. Lower the left toes. Active squat. And then from here, we're gonna inhale, standing up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale once here. Exhale, active squat. Inhale. Exhale, hands plant. Left foot steps back. Lower that knee. Bring the hand of the left hand. Sorry guys, I can't talk today. Bring the left hand down beneath the nose. Inhale, opening to the right, reaching the right hand back. Think of softening the hips down toward the mat. But again, we have this broadness through the shoulders. The shoulders are hugging toward each other. The collarbones are finding some space. On an inhale, find that starting position, both hands on the mat. Curl the left toes under, step back, plank. Move through your vinyasa, skip a vinyasa, find a child's pose. Whatever feels nourishing to you, let yourself see it and honor it. We'll go ahead and lower the knees. Come back to that seated posture from the start of class. Palms face down. And notice if there's any specific sensation moving through the body. We've gone through that flow twice per side now, but we're adding on every time. We're going to do that one more time per side, adding on quite a bit. Our breath work here today is going to be lengthening out the exhale. So just as the nostrils are associated with different parts of the body, the right nostril is a gas pedal of sorts, and it's associated with our sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. It's associated with our digestive organs. The left nostril is associated with the parasympathetic, like the relaxation, rest and relaxation components of the body, of the nervous system. And just in the same way as that, the inhale and the exhale function to do different things for us. So the exhale is similar to the left nostril in that it is most linked to the parasympathetic. So if we lengthen out our exhales, we get a nice soothing effect. So we're going to work on inhaling for a count of 3, exhaling for a count of 4. In between the inhale and exhale, we'll pause for a count of 2. So let's start by exhaling everything through both nostrils. Inhale fully. And then we'll start here. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you draw on the navel to really push out all that air at the end. Hold for 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can keep doing that cycle. Feel free to adjust the numbers as you see fit, but keep the exhale longer. That might mean an inhale of 4 and exhale of 5. That might mean an inhale of 3 and exhale of 6. Whatever feels doable for you, whatever feels good for you, find it. One more cycle. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. Notice any sensation. Notice specifically the face. If there's any sensation surrounding the eyes, the mouth, the cheeks. On an inhale, we'll sweep arms out and up. Exhale, rock it forward, hands and knees. Take a moment to stretch out one leg and then the other. We just spend a long time kneeling. All right, and then let's slide the hands forward, find downward facing dog.
Last set on each side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Keep the knee like this as you rock toward a plank, but then lower the left toes behind you. Press into the right hand, lift through the hips. Draw those shoulders together. Feel that same broadening across the collarbones. And then come back through a side plank. Pause at your side plank. Bend the left knee, and then step it forward. Lower the left hand inside of that foot. Lower the right knee, inhale. Exhale, straighten both left and right legs. Any amount, look back. Looking at the right leg, let's soften the left knee a little bit. We're gonna step the right foot forward and angle the toes out. So we're setting up for our triangle pose. Toes can be at a 45 and out to the side. That foot can be out to the side of the left foot a bit. Left hand inside of the left foot. Inhale the right arm up. Again, stack the shoulders. Broaden through the front side of the body. On an exhale, we're gonna lower the right hand back down just for a moment. As that hand lowers, we're gonna inhale the left arm up to the left. So we're twisting the other direction, finding our revolved triangle. On an exhale, lower that hand back down. Step the right foot back to its original position, more like a lunge set up, and then inhale, high lunge. First high lunge of the practice, see how it feels. From here, draw hands toward each other, bend the elbows, thumbs toward the nape of the neck. Bend the right knee almost to the mat. Inhale here. On an exhale, we're gonna straighten the leg and the arms. So we're finding this nice back bend version of our high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, reach the hands forward. Find that half lunge here, power lunge, and then either keep the arms forward or bring them back to the sides, airplane arms. We're gonna hop the right toes forward and then slowly lift off. Find your warrior three one last time on this side. Exhale, lower the right toes. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hinge forward. Fingers inside of the left foot, left hand stays planted. Lower the right foot 90 degrees and inhale the right arm up, side angle pose. Again, broaden through the collarbones, draw the shoulders together. On our exhale, we'll lower the right hand down, turn to face the long edge of the mat, and we're just gonna bend into the right leg as deeply as we can, finding Skandasana. Letting that left inner hip, inner thigh release. So it can feel nice to bring the right tricep inside of that right knee and use it to kind of lever that knee open. Think of the left hip drawing forward. So you'll get a little bit deeper sensation through that inner thigh. One more breath here. On an inhale, lift the hips back up, crawl the hands all the way back to the left foot at the front edge of the mat. Plant the hands, kick the left foot back and up. Exhale, left knee comes behind the right knee. Lower the knees to the mat. It's kind of a weird thing. And then send the feet wider so you can bring the hips back. Flex both sets of toes. So we're in our cow face pose, Gomukhasana. Right leg is on top. So we're gonna have right hand on bottom, reaching up the back, palm face out. Left hand comes from above, palm face in. Do not worry if the hands don't touch. We just want to reach them toward each other.
Open again through the collarbones. Still feel the core engaged. On an exhale, gently release the hands. Bringing the hands to the sides, we're actually going to kick the legs forward. If you're off the back of your mat like me, scoot yourself onto it. And we'll lower onto our backs. So we have our legs crossed, right leg still on top. We're going to bring into eagle arms now. So right arm on bottom. Try to bring the right fingers to the left palm if possible. We're going to do our eagle crunches. So maybe taking the second rock with the right toes, maybe not. Keep the low back glued down, okay? That's going to dictate how far you move the appendages. On an inhale, we expand. So think of the toes touching the mat and the fingers touching the mat above the head. Low back is still grounded. Exhale, draw knees toward elbows. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Breathe through the nose, breathe fluidly. Don't use momentum here, use muscle. Don't worry about how many you do. We're here for a certain amount of time. Just notice your pace because we'll do this again on the other side. Five, four, three, two, one. Release the arms. From here, we're gonna rock up to a seat. And we're gonna come back the way we came in. So we'll rock over the knees. The legs are still crossed. Plant the left toes, curl them behind you. Lift the hips up, uncross the legs, reach the right leg up. And then exhale, step it forward. Lower the left knee, low lunge. All right, from here, let's keep the left toes tucked this time. I want you to look at your hips. See if the right hip is popping up. If it is, level out the hips. And then bend into the right leg. Finding a nice integrated low lunge here. Hands can stay at the hips. Hands can reach up. We can cactus the arms out, working on yet another back bend. Or we can tuck the left elbow and take a twist. What I really want us to focus on here is the left hip though. So just do whatever option is gonna allow for that for you. One more breath here. On the exhale, hinge forward, kind of lift the left knee, roll onto the top of the kneecap and bend that leg up. From here, we'll come back up into our lunge. Hands can either stay on the front leg, on the front knee, or if it feels okay, we can reach back with one or both hands and grab that back foot. Now, we want to still keep the hips square. We want the hips to still be sinking down. You can pull the leg in. That'll stretch a little bit lower on the quad, more toward the kneecap. Or you can kick the foot into the hands, and that'll stretch a little bit higher on the quad and into the hip flexor. All right, so it's up to you. You might pulsate. It might feel nice to bring your right hand, your right elbow to your right knee, and just reach back with your left hand to do this. But we've done a lot with that left quad, so we want to give it a chance to release after it did all that strengthening for us. And then gently release that leg. Again, hinge forward to make that transition off of it. Plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. All right, final side. Inhale, right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. From here, rock forward to a sort of plank, but then lower the right toes behind you. Press those hips up, reach the right arm back, broaden through the collarbones. Feel the glutes, feel the shoulders. Come through a side plank. Bend the right knee. And then step that foot forward. Plant both hands inside of the right foot. Lower the knee, inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs any amount, look back. We're just here for one breath. And then we step the left foot forward for triangle. So it comes forward, toes angle out, 45 to 90 degrees, whatever you prefer. Plant the right hand inside of the right foot. Inhale, lift this left arm up. Focus on broadening through the collarbones. Focus on the breath. Lower the left hand down. We're gonna reverse this, okay? So left hand inside of the right foot. Think of tucking the right hip back and under, and then open up this right arm any amount. Exhale, slowly release. Step the left foot back, find your high lunge. Hands together, bend the elbows. Lower the left knee almost to the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten the left leg, straighten the arms, finding a nice back bend. From here, hinge forward, reach the arms forward, power lunge. Sweep the arms back or keep them reaching forward. Lift up into warrior three. Broaden through the collarbones. Lower the left foot behind you. Inhale up one last time. Exhale, bring both hands down. Right hand inside of the right foot, lower the left foot 90 degrees. Set up for your side angle pose. So on an inhale, we lift the left arm up. Right knee reaches toward the right pinky toe edge. Stack the shoulders. Keep a neutral chin. On an exhale, lower the left hand. We're gonna crawl facing the long edge of the mat. Bend into the left leg. Skandasana. Left hand reaches out to the left. The tricep opens that knee a little bit more. Think of the right hip coming forward. Provoke some sensation at that inner thigh. Inhale, crawl all the way back to the front foot. Frame it out. Lift that leg back and up. Exhale, the knee comes behind the left knee and we lower down, Gomukhasana. Feet come wide. This time our left leg is on top. So the right arm is gonna reach from the top, the left hand will come from behind, from below. If you're right hand dominant, you'll probably have a little more mobility on this side. Again, don't worry about making the bind, just worry about the opening. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release the hands. Bring the legs out ahead toward eagle legs. And then we're gonna lower into our eagle crunches on this side. All right, so low back is glued down. Left arm is under right. On inhales, we think of extending. Exhales, we think of rounding in. So find your rhythm. Again, don't use momentum. Whenever we use momentum, we're rushing through the muscle movements that need the most work. Five, four, three, two, one. Release the arms. Rock up to a seat.
Roll over the knees. As you plant the hands, the right toes tuck under. We lift the hips up, uncross the left leg, reach it up, and step it through. Lower the right knee, keep the toes tucked. Find your low lunge. Again, take a moment to see if this time if the right hip has dropped at all, and level out the hips here. And then bend into the left leg any amount. Find that opening through the right hip flexor. One more breath here. And then exhale, hinge forward to get some weight off of that back leg. Roll to the top of the kneecap and bend the leg. Point the toes as you do this. And then we can start by bringing both hands to the left knee and just work on that active opening, or reach back with one or both hands and bind that foot. Again, know that pulling the foot in versus kicking the foot into the hands is going to stretch different parts of the quad. You might set up camp somewhere, or you might continue to pulsate. You might bring the left elbow to the left knee. Gently release. Lower the hands, step it back. Downward facing dog. From here, lower down to the knees. Cross the ankles and rock back. We're gonna find fire log instead of traditional pigeon. And we'll do so by first bringing the right leg down. And actually, let's do a little mobility first. So bring the right leg to a 90 degree, a little bit out to the right, and then bring the left leg to a 90 degree. So you're seated in this kind of funky position, and check that both feet are flexed and that the shin and the femur make a 90 degree angle. And then from here, we're gonna lift up and then lower to the other side. All right, so we're trying not to use the hands. We're trying to do this all through the hips. If it doesn't work hands-free, then just use the hands as little as possible. You might be scooting forward on your mat very slowly. That's fine, just go one more each side. And then when you end with the legs out to the left, then from here, we'll find just a normal seat and bring the right shin forward, left leg stacks atop, or our Dvipada Kapotasana, double-legged pigeon pose, or fire log, as it's often called in workout classes. Sit tall, keep both sit bones grounded, flex both toes. Option to let the hands rest on the front leg, or option, if we can keep the sit bones grounded, to begin to gently hinge forward, but keep the spine long to start at least. So there's kind of a tractioning forward. You can even kind of drag the fingers back on the mat, pull the heart forward, and allow the hinge to really truly be at the hips, not in the spine. It's a great place to close the eyes, to deepen the breath. Maybe you even bring back that longer exhale. Notice if you really fully exhale, if you get that last pushing in of the stomach muscles at the bottom of it, that's where maybe there becomes space in the shape for you to make a little adjustment, to go just a little deeper. And then you inhale from that same position, the breath creates some space. And then when you exhale, you find that space and maybe you move into it again.
On an inhale, find your way back up. If you're hinged forward, uncross the legs, give them a wiggle out ahead of you. And then we'll go to the other side. So left leg on bottom, right leg on top. Again, start with the hands on the front leg, option to stay here, or to, again, very intentionally keep the sit bones grounded, but crawl the hands forward, reach the heart forward. Find your breath. Do that same thing with the breath, where at the bottom of the exhale, you really force the breath out. On an inhale, begin to gently work your way up. Straighten out the legs, kick them out. For our final moments of class, I want to invite you to find any other movement that might feel good. You might want to do a seated twist since we're already here, maybe find a pretzel. You might want to find your way to your back, maybe do a supine twist. A happy baby might feel nice. We did not arm balance or invert today in a traditional sense. So you might be feeling up for something like that at this point. You might also be feeling a back bend. We did a lot of very conscious opening of the shoulders and back and integrating of the core. So something like a bridge pose might feel really nice right now, or even a wheel pose, or a kneeling, a camel pose. If you're not sure what your body wants, I'd invite you to explore a few different things and just be receptive to what comes up. Eventually, you can make your way either to lying down, potentially lying down with feet together, knees wide, if Supta Baddha Konasana sounds pleasant right now. Alternatively, you can have feet as wide as the mat, knees knocking in. There's so many options for how to end. And finally, a seat would be another option. If you want to end seated upright in a sort of meditative shape. Wherever you are, I encourage you to gently release control of the breath. Allow it to still be through the nose, but don't measure counts. Don't constrict through the throat. Just allow the breath to come and go as it pleases. Soften every muscle of the body. Soften the eyelids, the jaw. If the mind wanders, gently redirect it. Bring awareness back to the breath. Maybe focusing specifically on that space within the torso where the breath moves in and out of the lungs. Just bearing witness to that expansion and contraction without assigning any language or idea to it. On an inhale, you can begin to lengthen out the inhale, lengthen out the exhale. Maybe include little wiggles, any nourishing movement. Gently make your way up to a seat, but allow yourself time, allow yourself exploration in how to get there. Take it slow and make it easy. Once you've arrived, we can inhale the arms out to the sides and up. Exhale the hands all the way down to heart center. Might we remember the strength and the softness that we cultivated here on the mat? And might we know we carry it with us always. Namaste.